Hi, welcome or welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea, and this is my week in review. My week in review series is exactly that. I try to do this on a weekly basis and just sit here and talk to you about my reading life, what I'm reading, what I've read, what I DNF'd, what I'm thinking about, what I'm listening to, and just general updates about me and my channel. And I do this for two reasons. One, I want to try to build community and friendship here. And this is the main reason why I have a channel, is to join the community, to make friends, to connect with other readers. So I can only connect if I put myself out there, and if you get to know me and you have interest in engaging with me. So as part of just putting myself out there and connecting with other people, I find that this may be a good way to just stay connected, let you know a little bit about my reading life and what's going on my end in my neck of the woods, and then hopefully create some engagement in the comments and get to know you as well. And the other reason is I am a slow reader, and that influences my ability to create content in BookTube. Because I am a slow reader, oftentimes I'm reading the same thing for months at a time. And it really does not inspire me to want to make monthly wrap-ups when maybe I only really finished one or two books. And maybe I'm just still reading the same thing sometimes. And because of that, I find that I'm more interested in kind of weaving my reading with other things so that I can talk about not just what I've read. And oftentimes you'll see in week to week, there are times that week to week I'm reading the same books and I'm talking about them. Maybe I'm sharing with you what, chapter or what new thoughts I have on this book that I'm reading. And it's just maybe a nice way to stay updated and to just get my reading thoughts as fresh as they are to you, who may be watching this video. So without further ado, I usually start with highs and lows. So a couple of highlights. And the highlights are meant to be small things, small joys that maybe don't mean a whole lot, but sometimes it's the little things that actually do mean a lot, or do bring good cheer. So two things that I just loved about this week were one, a new coffee shop discovery. So I mentioned in my last weekend review video last week that I'd gone to a vegan market in my hometown, and I met somebody at the vegan market who recommended a coffee shop that is across the street from where we were at. And I'd seen the coffee shop, always meant to stop by, never had. And this person was telling me that this was one of their favorite coffee shops, one of their go-tos, because they had organic coffee and they had vegan options. And so I thought, let me check it out. So right after the vegan fest, I met the owner, and I'd been told by my vegan friend that I met at the vegan market that this coffee store owner was really, really nice and just such a great person to get to know and get recommendations from in terms of coffee and tea. I'm more of a tea drinker than a coffee drinker. So I went and had a matcha lemonade actually. Not a big fan of lemonade, but that's what the owner recommended. I tried it. I loved it so much. I've been twice in the last week. So that's a highlight. I went on Monday with a coworker and it was a rainy day Monday, so I had a hot, steamy chai latte. It was so good. And then yesterday, it was another rainy day. My niece was visiting us. She's been here since Thursday, and we took her out for a coffee run and took her there, and I had another chai, and it was so good. Yeah, so I am really excited. I found a new coffee tea shop gem in my community, and it's locally owned, and I love local coffee shops. So it was really great to have this new discovery in my life. And then I mentioned that my niece was visiting us, and she's a college student, so she was just hanging out with us for a weekend. She came on Thursday, left today, Sunday, and the nights that she was here, we'd stay up really late playing board games, and I am a board game enthusiast. So for me, it was so much fun. Really had a great time. We played Villainous, and she really loved Villainous, so we just played Villainous every night this weekend and stayed up really, really late. um, the lows. I think as a result of staying up, this is what happening. I'm yawning. I've been staying up past my bedtime every night, so I've been really sleep deprived and sleepy and tired because I'm old and I stayed up way past my bedtime every single night. And you know what? It was great. We loved having her visit, and we had a lot of fun. I enjoyed having someone to play board games with. Um, we don't we don't get a lot of visitors around here, so it's just really, really nice to have some game nights. Community post. So in my community post this week, I posted my August bingo card, and this happened very spontaneously, last minute. I was making plans for reading YA and coming of age stories, as I love to do in the month of August. And as I was preparing my bingo card, which is something that I do for myself, I just thought, maybe I should share it. Maybe there would be somebody else that is into reading YA and coming of age and may want to join. And so kind of went out on a bit on a limb, a bit late, a bit last minute, but I just thought I'd share that with you in case anybody was interested. So that's what's on my community post. Tags. I have been really behind with tags, and I've been trying to catch up, so I decided to do a double header. So I did a mashup video of 2 tags, and I might continue to do those to try to catch up. So stay tuned. And now the books. So what did I read? In terms of finished, I finished Goodbye Earl by Leesa Smith. I picked this, it is a revenge novel. So I picked it for Giallo July. There's a knife. It has gray graphic design. I absolutely love this cover. I picked it for Giallo July. This is my yellow prompt. And I really enjoyed it. I gave this 4 stars. I really wanted to love it. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. I did like it. I did enjoy it. I had a good time. It was a good, solid read. It was a good time. I had fun. This book has a lot of music references, including the title. So I had a lot of fun listening to music while I read this book, creating a playlist on Spotify that I'm still trying to finish. And all in all, I'm really happy I read this book. I do need to say I don't think this book is for everybody. It is slow. It is a slow burn. For most of the book, you're just kind of like nothing's happening. It's going back and forth. So it's like dual timelines, multiple point of views. And it's about 4 friends, and I could see how people who expect plot would not find this here. Like this is, I think at one point I was like, well, this doesn't really work for Giallo July. It didn't really feel like it didn't really feel like it was plotty, fast-paced, pulpy. It felt very like character-driven, literary, slow. So if that's your jam, a slow burn, character-driven novel that is a feminist read, then you'll like this book. You'll get on with it. But if you're not into a slow burn, character-driven feminist read, this might not be a book you'll enjoy. I am still reading Sabrina and Corina by Gali Fajardo Anstine. So I love Gali Fajardo Anstine. I've been just waxing poetic about her as a writer. Love her stories. I'm almost done. The thing about short story collections is that I can read a short story at a time, and when I finish a short story, I don't feel motivated to just hop right into the next one. I kind of like to sit my time and savor it, like let the taste just sit with me for a little bit. Some of the stories that I'm reading, like the one I finished one this morning, and it kind of felt like a bit of a gut punch. And when that happens, I just need to catch my breath. Sometimes it puts me in a reflective mode. So some of the stories have left me thinking about these characters long after I'm done. And so I kind of like to sit with the characters for a little while before I hop into a new set of characters and a new story. It's such a well-written collection. The stories are very well done. The characters are pretty fully developed. I mean, all I could say is like I often feel like I'm a fly on the wall in these stories. I feel so so connected to the characters that I am oftentimes wondering like what's going to happen next. Like sometimes a story will end and it'll end and you just sometimes need to just assume what happens next. And when it's like that kind of an ending in some of the stories, I'm just like, what's gonna happen? So yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I'm almost done. I want to finish, but I don't. Maybe that's another thing. Like they're so good. These stories are so good. I just don't want them to ever end, and I'm just delaying getting to the end of this collection. Next is My Sister the Serial Killer. This is another one that I picked out for Jello July. I'm almost done with it as well. I love how tiny this book is. It's almost like the size of my hand. So it fits in a bag and I could take it with me. I have this much left, so I should be finishing that soon. The chapters are really short and it makes for a propulsive reading experience. Sorry, it's late, I'm sleepy, and my brain is starting to feel like mush. I'm also reading, I can't reach this one. Rest is Resistance, a manifesto by Tricia Hersey. I'm reading this for personal, professional growth and development. It's part of just some research that I'm doing, and I'm reading about liberation movements, self-care, burnout, rest. So I'm enjoying this. Hopefully I'll get to finish this in the next week or so, because I do need to talk it over with a friend that I'm reading it with. And I'm just having water today because I have not had enough water to drink today. Next, a book that I got on Libby. So I don't know, at whatever point in times when things just come to my head, sometimes I think of a book that I want to read, or I'll just peruse Libby and I'll just place holds on books that have really long waits. And in the span of about a month, I got 3 books, like one after the other. So I got Tomorrow, which I DNF'd. And then in a short span after that, I got The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, which I finished and absolutely loved. And then as soon as I finished The Great Alone, I got Educated by Tara Westover, and that's what I am reading now, and I need to finish it. It's an audiobook on Libby, and as soon as I finish it, get to return it to the library and mark that as read. I do have a physical copy, so I'm trying to go between the physical copy and the audio. And then another audiobook that I'm listening to intermittently is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. It's my Jane Austen July read. I have not DNF'd any books, and now on to community connection. I love this part of these videos because in this part of these videos, I get to talk about connecting with other content creators, other channels. Sometimes another content creator will post about a topic or post a video in which they talk about something in their reading life that then gets me thinking about my reading life, maybe aligns with my goals, maybe it gives me something to ponder, and then I love building those connections and connecting the dots between what someone else is reading or saying or doing in regards to their reading life and how that connects with me. So I share those community connections with you because I think that's part of how we grow as community. And then I also talk about channels that I'm discovering, that I'm loving, and maybe if you don't follow them, you can check them out too and spread the subscriber love. So the YouTube algorithm sent me over to the channel called Angela's Bookcase. Angela at Angela's Bookcase had a really interesting video recently about slow reading, in which she said, I think the title of that was Bookish Chat, Slow Readers Unite. So it was calling slow readers to come in and chat with her about being a slow reader and why reading slowly is a good thing. Oftentimes in BookTube, you just get caught up in the frenzy of just numbers and stats, and sometimes it's just nice to take a break and just take your time with the book. And so I really liked Angela's thoughts on there, and they really resonated with me. So I subscribed to her channel, and it's been something that I've been thinking about for a while. It's just being mindful to take my time with the books, and I do, because I am just a slow reader, and I don't think I could not be. But it was nice to connect with other people who have a slow pace of reading. And then I wanted to talk about my friend Kat at the channel Curious Cat. She did this tag that she tagged me in, the International Booktuber tag, and this was just yesterday. I just watched the video this morning, and she tagged other channels, and so I immediately went and watched the channels that were new to me that she had tagged. And one of the ones that she tagged that I just discovered this morning is Mimi Duong. At the channel, it's Mimi Duong. I'm so sorry, Mimi, if I'm mispronouncing your name. And one thing I loved, so I watched Mimi's video about Riz. I don't remember the whole title, but it caught my eye and I watched it. And in this video, Mimi talked about having it almost felt like a commonplace book, but it felt like maybe like more like a reading journal. So a journal where she writes quotes from books that she's reading. And it kind of felt like a bit of like a commonplace book / reading journal, like a reading quote journal. I think at least that's the way that I understood it and saw it from watching her video. And that really inspired me. I have a little journal that I wasn't sure what to do with it. And I thought, well, Mimi was specifically talking about romance books. And so I thought, I think this is a really great idea. I think I want to have a reading quote journal and then just focus on quotes from romance books or love quotes in books in general. So there's this one quote that I love in Toni Morrison's Beloved, and it's at the end of the novel. And it is a quote that's stayed with me for a really long time. I absolutely love that quote. So I've always thought about it, and I keep thinking like, oh, I should write that down somewhere, and I wasn't sure where. So watching Mimi pull out her little commonplace / reading journal, quote journal, really inspired me. So thank you, Mimi, for sharing that approach to reading. And now it gave me purpose because I had this little journal I didn't know what to do with. And I thought, oh, this would be perfect to just put like love quotes in here. And so whenever I'm in need to pull like a love quote, I know where to find it. So I'm really grateful to Mimi for that inspiration. And another community connection, just maybe something that I was really grateful for. This Crystal at Channel 5 for Artsy, she shared my video for my August announcement, and that meant a whole lot. So thank you, Crystal. It was really nice. I know Crystal has a lot of reading events going on, and she's got a lot. She reads a lot, and she's super active with community events. So her sharing that really meant a lot. So I was really grateful for that. Podcast. Because I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks recently, I haven't listened to very many podcasts. I'm still behind on catching up with podcasts like Wiser Than Me by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Normal Gossip, and one podcast that I listened to today on my road. I took a little road trip, and I got reacquainted with Latino USA by Futuro Media. So I was looking at the backlist, and there are a lot of episodes I need to catch up with. But I love Latino USA. I mean, if you are a Latinx person, you probably already know about Latino USA. If you're not Latinx, but you are interested in the Latinx community, you're interested in learning about what matters to the community, or what, sometimes they focus on pop culture, sometimes politics, sometimes it's like current affairs. There's a little bit of everything. So just how different things affect or impact the Latinx community. So it's a good podcast, and I really enjoy it when I listen to it. So recipe of the week. The recipe that I want to share for this week is, I think it's one that I've shared before, but it's probably been a while. I think I shared this recipe last year at around Dia de los Muertos, when I was planning my Dia de los Muertos feast, and I loved it. And like I said, I had our niece visiting us. I wanted to make some comfort food. I really wanted to make comfort food. And I made pancakes this morning. And of course, they were so good. This recipe is tried and true. Like I'd had them before, and I went with this recipe particularly because it was such a good recipe. My niece said she doesn't eat pancakes. She doesn't like pancakes. she tried these as she texted me a few hours ago and was like, hey, can you send me the recipe? So she really liked them. She had like a little short stack, and she's not a pancake fan. So this is the recipe. It's from the cookbook Siete, the Siete table by the Garza family. And it is grain-free pancakes. They are gluten-free and vegan. They're really easy to make. There's really just 3 steps. You make the flax egg, you mix the dry ingredients, and then you add the liquid, the flax egg with the liquid ingredients. And then you whisk it all up, and you put on a skillet or I have an electric skillet, so that's where I cook pancakes. And then you just top it with your favorite toppings. It's just cajeta. Cajeta is like a caramel sauce. I made the cajeta for Dia de los Muertos last year because my dad used to love cajeta, and so that's how we ate. In Mexico, it's really popular to eat pancakes with the cajeta, which is a caramel sauce. Or like evaporated milk is also a really popular topping. Not evaporated, sorry, not evaporated. Condensed. Condensed milk is a very popular topping for pancakes in Mexico. But for today's brunch with our niece, I just served it with good old maple syrup and topped it with bananas and pecans and blueberries. And it was so good. I do recommend this cookbook though. The Siete Table by the Garza family is a really great collection of Mexican American recipes. What I'm looking forward to. I am, well, so one thing that I started doing just this week, I signed up for Duolingo, the Duolingo app, and one of my goals in my 30s was to learn Arabic, and I got so caught up with other things in my 30s, I didn't really get very far with my language goals. So I was thinking about that this week, and I thought, I really need to pick that goal back up. Like, I really want to learn to speak Arabic. So I started learning Arabic, and so now I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm actually really excited to learn Arabic, and that's something I'm looking forward to. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. But I thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk again soon. Hasta la próxima.